I'm Councillor Phil Murphy. I'm Cabinet Member for Resources for Monmouthshire County Council, and in this clip we're looking to give you some idea of the pressures that we're facing and how we're going to deal with them. We've got massive challenges this year. We've got considerable additional responsibilities and costs incurred with regard to adult and children's services, some 5.5 million that we've got to find extra there. We've also got some 1.5 million with respect to additional learning needs for children, and an extra 1.2 million over and above that we'd originally anticipated for teachers' pay and pensions. So all in all, we've got some 9.7 million of additional costs that we've got to find in this particular budget round. Local authorities in Wales have had a positive settlement this year, which is really welcome. However, at an average of 4.3%, that hides the much higher settlements that other authorities have had. Monmouthshire's had 3%, which equates to some £2.8 million, but headlines don't pay bills, and the big problem we've got is that we are still 22nd out of the 22 authorities, and substantially underfunded with regards to the pressures that we've got. We've got a real problem here with the 3% settlement that we've had from Welsh Government, that 2.8 million that I spoke about earlier. It goes nowhere near enough to cover the expenses that we've got. So at the moment we're proposing an increase of 4.95%. Unless we can get additional funding from Welsh Government, that might have to arise, but we're doing everything we possibly can to avoid that. We're constantly having to reduce our budgets. We've done that by adapting our services and find more efficient ways of providing those services. But inevitably some charges will have to go up. We'll still be redesigning our services, but council tax, some of the charges that we make are going to have to increase to cover that. Welsh Government considers Monmouthshire to be a wealthy county, but the reality is that many people will be impacted by this. In previous years, frontline services such as waste, highways, etc. have had to bear the brunt of the savings that we've made. But these services can't make any more cuts. This year we're going to have to get schools to contribute as well. The task is too great to rely on the traditional areas for making savings. We will be providing additional support to schools as well, but everybody has to shoulder some of the burden this time. The population of children with additional learning needs is growing, and their needs are becoming more and more complex. We need to do all we can to keep them in their local schools and their local communities. So we're working closely with schools and investing to meet the needs of children and young people, with supporting them to reach their potential. We're experiencing a considerable rise, quite significant rise in children who are coming into our care, many of them with very complex needs. And the cost of supporting these young people with those needs are extremely high due to the nature of the support they require. We do everything we can to help people to be as independent as we possibly can. We've got a rapidly ageing population in Monmouthshire with more and more people needing support. We also have younger adults with all kinds of needs. For example, we've got some adults with disabilities whose aging parents are no longer able to provide the support for them at home, and we need to provide that alternative accommodation for them. However, this area, like others, needs to change to manage the budget challenges, and we're going to do this by continually reviewing the way that we work. We're also working closely with colleagues in health so we can make a difference to people's lives together. We're potentially facing fines of some 130,000 this year because our recycling rates are dropping. We have to meet the targets that are set by Welsh Government, and these are increasing all of the time. Over 70% of the waste that's produced can be recycled, particularly food waste. We're finding in black bags over a quarter of the waste being thrown out could be recycled. For instance, use your food caddies, put your chicken carcasses in, put your apple cores, put all of the food waste that you can in them. It can be recycled.